How is everybody doing? Positive and productive, I hope. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. Hey, do me a favor and share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it? So, ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, let's just jump into this. This is a little bit different from the normal content that I do, but you know what you guys are here for. It's a cornucopia, right? You never know what you're going to get when you just stick your hand in there and grab something. Hopefully it's an orange. Maybe you grab some grapes. I don't know, but you're going to get something good. And it might just be squash. When I was a kid, I hated to eat squash, but when I became an adult, I love squash. If you haven't had spaghetti squash or winter squash, you're missing out on a lot of good things you can do. But anyway, neither here nor there. I just tell everybody it's somewhere. Maybe it's on X, maybe it's on Rumble. Hopefully you're subscribed. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to talk about is, and I just want to read something to you guys really quickly. And it's like I said, it's different than what we normally talk about, but it kind of goes hand in hand to what we are doing, right? So, and this is just according to general Google AI overview. So listen to what it says right here. It says, walking 2 miles 3 to 4 times a week provides numerous physical and mental benefits, including improved cardiovascular health, stronger bones and muscles, better mood, and reduced risk of chronic disease like type 2 diabetes and some cancers. So let's go over that one more time. Walking 2 miles 3 to 4 times a week provides numerous physical and mental health benefits, including improved cardiovascular health, stronger bones and muscles, better mood, and reduced risk of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and some cancers. We're going to keep going, but ladies and gentlemen, look at how amazing this is. Simply walking. And the reason why we're having this conversation, because we were part of another conversation, and it was mainly geared towards what the FDA is doing, what the Trump administration is doing for food, and all the different dyes and the petrochemicals, and we were talking about everything in the food and what people are consuming, and we were the whole conversation was consumed about what people are, and this is so bad for you, and if you don't eat this and stop eating this and don't eat that, and it was what you shouldn't eat, and what you could eat also, but what nobody actually did talk about was how much exercise you should do, or what type of exercise you should do, or just simplistic amounts of consistent exercise and how far that goes. Like, yeah, that's great that you're not eating, red 40 number, red 40, or you're not eating, yellow number 3 or whatever the case, or, you're not putting saturated fats or monoglucamates or whatever. That's great. You're not eating those. That's awesome. But what's even more awesomer? What's awesomer is if you were to just walk 3 to 4 times a week, a couple of miles. If you were to do that, you are lowering your chance. Never mind. We'll just keep reading. So it says, this routine also aids in weight management by burning calories and can increase creativity and overall quality of life. Ladies and gentlemen, so listen, if you have type 2 diabetes, if you have some forms of cancer, if you want to lose weight, if you want to be more creative, and if you want to improve your overall quality of life, simply walk. Simply walk a few miles with some consistency. Let's keep reading. Physical health benefits. Improved cardiovascular health. Regular walking strengthens your heart, lowers blood pressure, and improves circulation, which reduces the risk of heart disease and stroke. Strengthens bones and muscles. It is a weight-bearing exercise that helps build and maintain strong muscles and can prevent bone loss. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, for the men too, but specifically for women, when women, and especially if you have children too as well, but when women hit about 40, 42, the propensity or for what is it? osteoporosis. The propensity or the likelihood that you will develop some form of osteoporosis is extremely high for women over 40 who've had children, especially with the type of diets that we eat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying diet's not a problem, but I'm saying a bigger part that contributes to this diet is the lack of exercise and simple exercise. I'm not saying we got to go out and run marathons and act like we're training for a triathlon or the strongman competition. I'm just saying out of 7 days, 3 to 4 of those days, you walk 2 miles. And we can do some more research on this. Manage chronic conditions. It helps with blood sugar management, lowers the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and can reduce the risk of some types of cancer. Now, here's an interesting part, and we did talk about the diabetes aspect, but here we are, 2025 going into 2026, and I can say for maybe the last 12 to 15 years, juvenile diabetes has been a thing, and it's been rising. It's been so high, it's been so prevalent that it's sad. It's become almost, I want to say, I can't get the exact numbers, we'll probably even pull it up, but I want to say almost, I think it's like 42 of all children under the age of 13 have a form of juvenile diabetes in the United States. 42% of the youth have juvenile diabetes. Don't quote me on that. We'll have to fact check on that. Matter of fact, why don't you guys pull it up and somebody throw it in the comment section, and then we can go from there. I appreciate that. So, and we're hearing that from this information that walking can lower your risk or the propensity of type 2 diabetes. Remember when we were kids, we had to walk to school. Then we walked and we did a lot of playing at school. Then we walked home from school. Then we walked to our friend's house. We walked to the store. We did all these things. So when you really think about it, back in our day growing up as children, it was very easy for you to walk 5+ miles in one day. I was showing my wife something the other day, and I let her know. I said, do you understand I grew up walking? I said, literally, I walked 3+ miles to school every day. My school was 3 miles away, one way. I walked to school and I walked home. I said, on top of basketball practice, track practice, going to your friend's house, going to the store, all those various things. I said, but literally, I walked 6+ miles a day, just going to school and walking home. And we're talking about doing 2 miles a day, 3 to 4 times a week. I did 6+ miles 5 times a week, guaranteed. And a lot of us, I'm not even going to say that was the normal. You know how many kids walked with me from my neighborhood and we all walked to school? That was a normal thing. And you know what wasn't a normal thing? Children having juvenile diabetes. Juvenile diabetes was not even a term growing up in the 80s and 90s, the 70s, 80s, and that juvenile diet, what was that? But we got to the point where children stopped having to burn so much calories, and they're eating all of these refined sugars. And we'll go over sugars in a minute, because people say, oh, stop eating sugar, stop eating sugar. No, don't stop eating sugar. You stop eating sugar, you're going to be stupid. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you don't eat sugar, you're going to be stupid. Choosta, how can you say that? We talk about all the yes. So the problem is refined sugar. Refined sugar is what creates these insulin spikes and all these different things like that. Primarily and mostly, the human brain feeds on sugar, on glucose. Your body, your necessary functions, your ATC, all kind of stuff is primarily dependent upon glucose, simple sugar. Fructose is one of the easiest ways to turn into glucose. Some starch can do it too. It's easy for starch also to go into glucose, but the easiest form that goes into glucose is fructose. So you get the easiest, simplest form of the most natural sugars in fruits. Some vegetables have it too, but the highest concentration is going to be in your fruits. So you don't stop eating sugar, stop eating things. And I was just watching a podcast. Do you know that there's refined sugar in ketchup? So most of your favorite ketchup brands have refined sugar in it. But we'll keep reading. I think we said it aids in weight management. I don't know. Walking burns calories and can be a key part of weight management. part of a weight loss or weight management plan. So if you're trying to diet and you're over here starving yourself, go ahead and eat. It's okay. You're hungry. Eat. But why don't you just go walk? So you know what? I ate, instead of eating one bowl of chili beans, you ate two. So instead of doing 2 miles, do 3.5. Simple. But you know what we don't want to do? We don't want to go to the gym and we don't want to walk. And then for a lot of you women, right? Like seriously, I always give the ladies a hard time, but realistically, I give the fellas a harder time. But for you ladies, see, ladies don't like to be teased and ridiculed. The fellas, they accept it. They be like, damn, Choosta, you right. You feel me? Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Ladies, I just say it in a joking way and y'all get y'all little panties all in a bunch, but it's okay. And what I'm going to tell y'all is that now you understand when your husband looked at you like you was stupid because you wanted the Peloton and you wanted all of these dumb shits, and we was like, we not spending all that money for no guy. You want me to spend $10,000 for your stupid ass to walk in the house on a screen when you can go walk outside for free, but I need to go spend $10,000 for you to go walk on a goddamn screen. Who's dumb? Apparently I am because I did it. But now apparently you are because you didn't even do it. Now I got you the inside walker and you still don't fucking walk. You got the digital screen and you can go walk through the Alps and you can go do all that stupid shit. But how often do you go take a walk through fucking France? How often? So why the fuck did I spend fucking $5,000-$10,000 and you ain't even doing no walking when you could have walked for free outside? Let's keep going. See, this is what I'm saying. Y'all get upset, but then now when we're in the situation we're in, because we're down in a deficit, and now we can't even go sell the Peloton for $2,500, and you don't even use it, and we need the money. And I said, see, I told you that this was a bad idea. Now you're mad at me. Now you're even more angry at me for bringing up some old stuff. You always want to bring up old stuff. You always want to point this out. You always want to say you right. Okay, so maybe next time when you're thinking of some stupid shit, remember, I'm always right. Remember? Oh no, now you want to forget. Okay, but you brought it up. How you gonna bring it up but you forget? That's what I'm saying. See, it's neither here nor there, ladies and gentlemen. It's somewhere. Maybe it's on X, maybe it's on Rumble. I'm telling y'all need to subscribe. It improves sleep. Consistent physical activity like walking can lead to better sleep patterns and quality. Now, that's a whole nother aspect that I really want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of people don't understand how important a circadian rhythm is, especially in children and in a developing mind. If you have children who don't develop a circadian rhythm, you're already setting the pretense or the preface for a lot of neurological and degenerative diseases already, just based off of not having an adequate circadian rhythm. Then if you couple that with inadequate nutrition and a lot of these petrochemicals that are in our food on a developing mind, we're creating people who are just crazy. I'm telling you now, we're just creating these walking sick people who are just physically and mentally just inapt. They're just not. They're not ready. They can't. I'm telling you, this is what we're doing. I mean, and we'll go over that. But like I said, and then when we start talking about the sleep patterns, consistent physical activity like walking can lead to better sleep patterns. Well, that's a two-part thing because physical activity, specifically walking, it releases endorphins, which make you feel better. So it's going to increase your mood. Then you're going to get a better quality of sleep. Once you increase your circadian rhythm, you're more susceptible, or you're more you can absorb minerals better. Your digestion is better. A lot of different things happen better. So it's like if you improve this one thing, other things improve. It's like if you have back pain, well, more than likely you might need to fix your shoes or fix your feet, because more than likely generally speaking, a lot of back pain is associated to feet because your base isn't established. So if you don't have the established base, your feet, then it's going to transcend first into your back. But again, like I said, this is a whole different type of thing that we were doing. But I want people to get healthy. I really, mentally and physically. I think where we are in today's society, because the pussification of a lot of young men is just being promoted and is being accepted, and a lot of men think that they need to be weak men in order to be strong men, and I just don't understand it. So I'm really a big proponent for physical strength, for masculinity. But at the same token, for everybody, I believe everybody has to have the mental fortitude and wherewithal to just deal with life in general. With heartaches, with losses of life, with losing loved ones, not getting the job you wanted, with disappointment, with everything. I mean, even with the good highs. Some people know how to handle disappointment and upset, but they don't know how to handle congratulations and the and response and different things of that nature. So, for instance, you get the guy where if he doesn't get the raise or the promotion, he's okay. He's not going to do anything crazy. But when he does get the promotion, now he's going to make financially unsavory decisions. Or when he does get that raise or he does get a lump sum of money, he's going to do things that are probably not indicative to his best interests. So you have a lot of different ways. So I'm talking about just improving the quality of life in health overall, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And we'll get to that one on the last one. That's the trifecta when we spiritually get aligned. Mental benefits. Reduces stress and anxiety. Our Wi-Fi turned off for a quick moment, but that's okay. Reduces stress and anxiety. Walking releases endorphins. I just kind of went over that, which are natural mood lifters and stress relievers. So if you're feeling stressed out, if you're having a bad mood, you know what? That honestly will work. Take a good walk. Just go take a good walk and maybe put a little bit of cannabis up in there, some Delta 9 or some THCA. I'm not saying you have to. The walking itself is going to do it, but put a little bit of cannabis with that walk. I promise you, you're going to feel a lot better afterwards. I'm not saying that the problem doesn't exist no more, that the situation isn't there, but what I'm going to say is that you don't feel so bad about it, and maybe you can think clearly about the situation now. When I used to do music and entertainment and I had like my street team and my guys out there selling CDs and merchandise, one of the main things I would tell people is that motion creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. So the type of movement you do is going to create the type of feeling you feel. And we already know what happens when you're stagnant, right? When you're stagnant, it rots. You take some water, and everybody know. Well, maybe you don't know, but if you ever get lost in the forest or the woods or something like that, you don't drink stagnant water. If the water isn't moving, you don't drink it. It's nasty. It's rotten. It's rancid. Don't drink it. So you can't just stay still. Never be stagnant, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the thing about a lot of us. So now think about it, and no pun intended, but it almost comes back full circle. I'm just simply talking about implementing or incorporating 2 miles of walking 3 to 4 times a week. And almost the aspect of that is stop being stagnant. Oh, I walk all the time. I walk to the car. I walk around the office. I walk around here. I walk around there. No. I don't care. That's not the same. See, people always want to say what they do. You say one thing, and then people always want to make what they do equate to what you say. And it's like, no. Listen, I need 4 quarters. I need 4 quarters. Can you give me 4 quarters? And then they give you $1, or they give you some nickels and dimes or 100 pennies. And they say, here. And you say, no, I needed 4 quarters. It's $1. It's the same thing. It's the same. It's $1. If 4 quarters is $1, 100 pennies is $1. It's the same thing. It's like, Jesus Christ. Why do you gotta go so I go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick. Real fucking quick. Like, why do you gotta go so fast so far? Or so far so fast? I tell people that all the time. We went too far too fast. Hold on. Maybe I could have been maybe a little more descriptive and said, you know what? I need 4 quarters for the laundromat or for the vending machine. I need 4 quarters because what I'm doing only accept quarters. So therefore, I need a quarter. I could have signified that, but I did ask specifically for quarters. And now you're going to try to justify how 4 quarters equals $1 in the fact that you gave me 10 dimes or you gave me 100 pennies, which is which equals $1, which is the same thing as 4 quarters, which is the same. And I'm like, no, I didn't want $1. I wanted 4 quarters, but it's the same thing. Now we're having a meta conversation. You see how it happens in society, ladies and gentlemen? We all see this, and it's like you try to explain something to somebody, and now they're making a false equivocation, and you're trying to say, and now you're trying to specify that what they're trying to equate is not the same as what you're asking, and now we're not even talking thing that you said no more. We're talking about how these things are not the same, or how they're not equal, or why this is different. It's called a meta conversation. We're having a conversation about the conversation. And I hate it, ladies and gentlemen. It happens too often. And you know why? Because y'all don't walk. Because y'all don't walk. Because you don't have good moods. Because you got too much stress. You sit there and you're pent up all day. If you would just go walk, go take some steps. People say go outside and touch grass. Nah, fuck that. Don't touch. That's what y'all do. Y'all just walk outside and just go touch the grass for 5 minutes and then go back in the house. No, fuck that. I'm sorry. We got rated R already. I had to say it twice. I did. Remember in Get Shorty when he told you that the Major Motion Picture Association will still give you a PG-13 rating if you say fuck once? And he said, you know what I say to that? Fuck that. Pun intended. But anyway, again, I'm even going to tell y'all where it's at. I'm going to see if y'all find it now. I'm going to just ask y'all if y'all know where it's at. So I'm going to say, hopefully you know where it is. Picking up what I'm putting down. Hopefully you know where it is. Look, I'm going to start changing these shits up on y'all in a minute. But no, realistically. And I'm serious because, see, this is why I joke around. This is why I don't take things too serious. I showed you guys a video. If you guys didn't see the views that we have, from one of the homesteads and the compounds that we're building. If you guys can see the mountain views and the sunsets, they're glorious. I was like, I see why you guys are hollering at each other on your phone all day, because you guys don't have views like this. If you actually seen views like this in their awe and in their glory live in person, trust me, you would not be hollering at a stranger, at an avatar on your phone. I guarantee you wouldn't. I promise you, you would not. I could prove it. We could prove it. But no, realistically, and I just want people to, like I said, get some general health benefits, because where we are in today's society, we almost can't even talk to each other. We're at a point now where you ask a person a question and they get offended. How did we get to a point where we started getting offended with questions, ladies and gentlemen? How am I supposed to learn or know if I ask you a question? Hopefully you will provide me answers and or knowledge, and you got mad that I answered. And listen, I know a lot of my viewers, or multiple people everywhere. I just got a call telling me that they were even looking at my videos all the way in Bulgaria. I don't even know what language they speak out there. I'm assuming Bulgarian, but I guess they speak English too. I don't know. But my videos are gaining some traction in a few different places. And what I don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm not gonna lie to you. I had two trains of thought that I wanted to tell you guys about. But one of the things that I don't understand is that when we're having these bigger and broader conversations, is that how come in today's society that when we just ask questions, people get offended? And to my general audience, and the broader point of it is that I know I have a lot of people from various walks of life and demographics, but when I speak directly to the black community, and anybody can hear it, I'm not one of those people who say, well, if you're not in the black community, you can't have these conversations, or you're not privy to talk about that. No, I think anybody can offer their opinion about. So I believe as an American, I have free speech. So you can't tell me what I can't and cannot say. And I'm a free speech absolutist. I don't believe, well, you can't make threats. I think that, hey, if I tell you that I'm going to kick your ass, hey, I believe I should be able to say that if that's what I want to do, or I'm trying to do it, or maybe it's wrong for me to want to do it. But if you think that that's what you want to do, I think you should be able to say it. Because what if I'm walking down the street and this guy wants to kick my ass? I think he should say that. That way I know what he wants to do. And now I don't walk down the street and I just get my ass kicked because I didn't know that that's what he was plotting on for 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. I just think about it a little bit differently. But realistically, I think in the black community, and even in a lot of and now I don't even want to just put it on the black community. I'm just going to put it on class. I look at things in classism, and the amount of money you make, the amount of resources you have, and the amount of information you were privy to growing up. All that makes up a class. So it's not just how much affluence you have. It's also how much experience, or what you are experienced to. So affluence coupled with experiences. All these things make up classism. Coupled with education, that's also an experience. That's part of experience right there. So when you have a little money, when you're taught certain things, and you're able to experience certain things, that's a part of class. So when these things are lacking, and you're part of that class, let's just say not just a non-affluent class, but non-affluent social classes and different things of that nature, we can look at and see these behaviors. And when you have parents who don't answer questions for children, now their children go seek these answers abroad. Now you have children, when I can't answer these questions to my children is going to go ask the world these questions. And it just so happens the person they may ask might be, we call them purple-haired freaks. The person my child might ask for these answers to this question might be a open Marxist or a socialist. The person my child might ask for this course doesn't believe in the nuclear family, or thinks heterosexuality is degenerate or bad for society, or part of the patriarchy, and or the patriarchy is wrong, or etc., etc. So who is actually now going to answer a lot of these questions for my child? What ideologies do they believe in, and what do they stand for? So now when my child is gaining weight and they know that they're getting unhealthy because they're out of breath when they walk from the door to the car, and they're out of breath in their legs and their joints hurt, are you going to give them body positivity and reaffirm their weight and tell them no matter how big they get, it's beautiful and don't change your body for nobody? Or is somebody going to actually say, hey, no, you need to eat right, you need to exercise, and you need to do the right things for your health benefits? Who's actually going to give my child the answers if I don't have the answers for them, ladies and gentlemen? And when I say I mean us, because I am you and you are me, because we are the people. I'm speaking for us in society. So if I don't have the answer, if we don't have the answer, then who does my child come to? Who does our children go to for these answers, ladies and gentlemen? If we're not able to explain these things, and if we're not leading by example, then why should my child follow me? I remember going back in the day, and no disrespect to the preachers and the deacons, but back in my day, a lot of the preachers and the deacons, they were struggling. They didn't know anything about IRAs. They didn't know anything about, realistically, about 401ks and how to maximize them. They didn't know anything about investments and compounding interest. They didn't know anything about that. The majority of them didn't. So they didn't teach us these things. So they struggled in life. But you know what they told us? They told us, don't go commit crime. Don't go rob and steal. Don't sell drugs. Don't fraud. Don't embezzle. Don't do these things. They still had enough wherewithal to know you don't want to go do anything for the money. Because now look at where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Look at where we are. We're in a day and age. We're not just in a day and age where things like OnlyFans exist, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the day and age where girls will be 15 and 16 years old and sign up to OnlyFans, agreeing to when they turn 18, they'll do it. And we have people already pre-subscribed. Now, I'm not going to say they're putting out content before the age of 18. I'm not saying that. That's not what's happening. But what is happening is, at a young age, they're already making or saying that they're going to subscribe to it, and people are already in anticipation subscribing to the channel, or and they're actually not even getting on the platform, because you have to be 18 to get on the platform. But what they're doing, they're creating other accounts saying that when they turn 18, they're going to get onto these accounts. And what they're doing is they're basically running up the numbers to see how many fans and supporters that they'll get before they do it. And they're using that as a leverage point to negotiate the contract. So let me get this straight. We are okay with the girl 16, 17 years old already believing and knowing that when she turns 18, she wants to sell pictures of her body for money. And we say, well, at least she's making money. At least she's paying her bills. She's a millionaire now. For the love of money is the root of all evil. For the love of it. Read the scripture correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Read it correctly. Forgive me if a few technical difficulties, but that's okay. That's okay. It's an Android, but we were able to bring it back, right? We were able to bring it back. And listen, and see, a lot of what I'm talking about, and you're like, Choosta, how did we get here? We're talking about young girls wanting to do OnlyFans and different things of that nature, but we were just talking about walking 2 or 3 times, 2 miles, 3 to 4 times a week. How did we get here, Choosta? I'll tell you how we got here. We got here because you guys are stressed out. Your mood levels they fluctuate. And because you don't do any movement or walking, you are making decisions from in a state of duress. You're not making decisions in a state of in a full mental state. Everything you do, you're doing it either from. Listen, and this is what I don't understand. How are you guys so tired and you guys don't do anything? Like literally, you guys are physically tired from doing nothing mentally. But, I've always said doing nothing makes you tired. A lot of people don't realize that. A body in motion stays in motion, and a body at rest stays at rest. That's an old saying, and it's still true to this day. So, and then listen, we left off with better sleep leads to better sleep patterns and improved sleep, especially in children, especially when you give children better diets. You're really setting them up to have a lot of the neuron and the pathways and the synapses. You're already setting these things up. Improved quality of life. Also increases energy levels, boosts overall energy. So like I just told you, a body in motion stays in motion. So believe it or not, the more you do, the more energy you get. It almost seems counterproductive. Listen, let me tell you the beauty of the human body, right? The human body, I'm going to tell you one of these marvels. This defies the laws of physics and science right here. The human body is one of the only systems, and most other animals don't do this neither, as far as what the human body does. The human body is the only system in which you have to use more energy than you put into it in order for it to function effectively. Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. The human body is the only system that you have to use more energy that you put into it in order for it to work effectively and efficiently. So imagine if I put 100 gallons of gas in my car, but in order for my car to work properly, I have to use 110 gallons of gas. But how do I use 110 gallons of gas when I only put 100 gallons of gas? And that's the magic of the human body right there. Because when you metabolize, when you put these calories in there, you make energy. So I can say I put X amount of calories, but X amount of calories in a healthy system will be expressed in another another energy expression. So you could say, well, generally speaking, this amount of calories gives you, let's just say, this amount of newtons, or this amount of energy. But you could also say at the higher end of it, it could also give you this amount of energy as well. And as a rule of thumb, any dietitian will tell you this. Anybody who's really concerned with your real health will tell you you have to burn more calories than you basis. If I take in 2,000 calories a day, I should be burning about 2,200 calories a day, 2,500. I should burn more than I intake. And that's how you stay healthy, ladies and gentlemen. Improved quality of life contributes to a better quality of life and greater sense of well-being. Imagine that, a greater sense of well-being. You're going to just feel better about yourself. Doesn't mean the problems don't exist, but I just have a greater sense of well-being, meaning that I feel better about it. I don't feel so bad about the problem. A lot of people are all in the same a lot of people are in the same situation or similar situation, just at different points in time. You're going through a divorce. He went through that 10 years ago. He probably will go through one in 5 years. You lost your job. He did that 5 years ago. You're probably going to lose your job in 10 years. He's going through it right now. We all go through the same stuff, just at different points in time in our life. My uncle had a great saying. It's not what you go through, but it's how you go through it. It's not what you go through, but it's how you go through it, ladies and gentlemen. And the way we're going to go through these things is with sound body, mind, and spirit. And it's going to start by simply incorporating 2 miles. 2 miles. So when you say I walk enough, well, I walk the equivalent of 2 miles. I'll tell you why that's not the same. In order for you to get actual cardiovascular, and this is what we're trying to get to, we're trying to get to a cardiovascular workout. You need to increase your heart rate by 20% for 30 minutes. Now, they may have a different number on this now. They may have a different number. They may say increase your heart rate by 10% for 20 minutes or something like that. But listen here, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to do. You're listening to the Choosta. I'm going to tell y'all the truth, okay? What we want to do is increase our heart rate by 20% for 30 minutes consistently. At least 30 minutes. If we don't do at least 30 minutes of a heart rate being elevated by 20%, don't even call it nothing. Don't even call it anything. If you really want to get these benefits, that's what we're doing. 20% at 30. And we can get there, ladies and gentlemen. And then we can start eating a lot healthier. And then we'll choose to eating organic. It costs too much and different things like that. You know what don't cost a lot? Seeds and water. And the sun is free. Last time I checked, they don't charge for the sun. Last time I checked. Seeds, not that expensive. Water, also not very expensive. Sun, free. You got organic fruits and vegetables right there. And then time is just time. Now, you can get paid for time. Now, nobody gets paid for time. You get paid for what you can do in a certain period of time. Nobody just gets paid for time. You get paid for what's done in time. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, and I didn't even know I was going to make it this long, and there'll probably be a little difficulty posting this. So do me a favor. We're trying to improve our content. Listen, we're never going to ask you for monetary support here at the Choosta Speaks, but what we will implore you to do is just share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Make sure you drop a purple heart in the comment section. My algorithm really loves it. And remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it?